Okay, so today we are at Ozark Underground Laboratories in southern Missouri, and I'm here with Tom Atley, who's the founder and president and head honcho of Ozark Underground Laboratories, and also um, owns a big preserve here and lives on it that has Tumbling Creek Cave and about 3,500 acres of the watershed that recharges it. Um, and we're going to learn a little bit about the resource and how he approaches managing it. And we'll do that in a little bit. We're going to visit the cave underground. But first, what I want to do is talk to Tom a little bit about his career and the work that he's done through OUL. Tom is a legendary figure in karst hydrology. And way back when I was an undergraduate, my first introduction to Tom was I called him up for some advice. This was over 25 years ago, some advice on doing my first dye tracing in Ohio. And so, Tom, could you tell us a little bit about um, how you got into this business?
Well, I have 2 degrees in forestry from University of California, Berkeley. Um, Forestry, I went into it because it was the premier discipline for natural resource management. I'm focused on management. I may do studies or something like that, but I try and solve real world problems. Um, Forestry was a good background from that. I also picked up in grad school a lot of work in hydrology and geology and a few other things. I went to school for 7 years and then finally decided I needed to go out and do things. But one of the things that was critical in what I've been able to do was a broad background of going to school at schools that were hard. I had to work hard to not flunk out. And that good, firm background has let me work in a number of fields. I can do chemistry. I can lumble along in physics. I can do some statistics. Can do a number of things. So that background was useful. And then I became really focused on water issues, thinking they were going to be very important, but at the time I was going to school, you could not get a degree in hydrology at any American university.
Oh, wow.
And so I took hydrology courses regardless of what university department they were in. So I took a lot of courses where I seemed really foreign to the rest of the students. But that's been beneficial. So really the uniting thing in what I do has been water issues. I was chief hydrologist for a large consulting company in the Los Angeles area, and professionally it was a great job, but I really wanted to work with caves and karst, and that was not occurring. So I decided that what I wanted to do was establish an underground laboratory, which meant I needed a cave. So I quit my job on April Fool's Day, which I thought was kind of appropriate, and spent 9 months searching for a cave to buy to establish this underground lab. Bought this, and I've been working on it ever since with other jobs to support it. We don't have philanthropic support for it. The money that goes into it is money that we earn from doing work, my wife and I, and it's really a two-person project. My wife's background is water quality and aquatic life. She's a limnologist. So together we've been able to do really fascinating projects dealing with caves and karst all over the place. Made a couple trips to Australia and neat things like that. But it's been a lot of persistence, working on these things, trying to deal with real world problems, and just keeping at it for a long time.
And the types of work you do in your consulting business, is that focused in Missouri or is it more broad?
We work all over the United States. Last year we did projects in all over the U.S., in Canada, Brazil, Peru, Ghana, Sweden, Australia. Maybe I missed somewhere, but specializing in the tracing of water underground with tracer dyes.
How'd you originally get interested in that, the dye tracing?
I wanted to know where the water went and started working with the dyes, and then needed better detection methods than existed, and so developed some of the techniques, bought some expensive equipment to be able to do it, developed strategies for it. I really would have liked to have had a laboratory that could provide those services, but there wasn't one, so I just started doing it. So now we do it for a lot of entities around the country and around the world. Based here in suburban Pro-Tem. Well, if you haven't seen Pro-Tem, you don't get all of the humor. It's a very small community. You might say it's tightly knit because about 10 people live in town.
Okay. And you're in the far suburbs. What advice somebody who maybe is young and in college or about to go to college now that wanted to pursue a career like this, working on karst issues, karst management, what advice would you give them?
Go to college, take the hard courses, work hard at it, learn what you can, and then when you get out of school, pick jobs not by what you're making, but by what you're going to learn. Who will you be working with? Will you have a mentor who helps you understand some of these things? College just gives you fundamentals, and be prepared for lifetime learning. Read. Read all the time.